Welcome back. All right, I am super excited about today's topic and today's host. So I'm going to go ahead and find her over here, which for some reason it's not showing me anybody. Oh, here we go. Okay, so today my co-host is going to be Olivia, and we are going to be talking about mindset and why it's important when it comes to life, when it comes to business, but like why it's important when it comes to content. And I think that this is just such an interesting topic because when we're creating videos, when we're creating content, when we're posting on any social platform, but especially through video, it shines through. It's really important to have the right mindset to go about it, and it really makes a difference. Hi, how are you today?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right. So like I said, welcome to social media for your boring business. I do this every single Tuesday live here on TikTok at this hour, which for me is 1 p.m. Central Time. And today I am joined by Olivia. So why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Olivia. I am a social media coach and I am also a business coach. I started my business while I was in college, actually, just to start paying off my student loans, try and get out of debt a little bit. And I quickly realized the potential that it had in the online space. So I took it full time after graduation, and now I help creative solopreneurs, freelancers, just bridge the gap between content creation and monetization.
Awesome. And so just a little bit of I don't remember what the word is, but just so that you know, since we're both hosts, I can't see comments that people leave on your side. So if there's any comments that people leave that we need to respond to, please be sure and bring that up. And if you're here and you love what you see, please double tap the screen. That helps our content get in front of more people who are going to enjoy it as well. And let's go ahead and get started. So today we are going to be talking about mindset, and I really love this topic. And although it sounds really broad, and it's important in every piece of our life. I really am excited to kind of go into the importance of it when it comes to not only your business, but creating content. I think that's a really nuanced part of it that a lot of people don't put enough thought or energy into, and it really makes a difference. So let's get started by just talking about mindset broadly. Like, what do you mean by that when you say, like, we're going to focus and talk about our mindset today?
I think so. Talking about mindset, I think for people who are on the online space is, like you said, something that isn't really talked about enough. Like, I think people get on the internet and start posting, and they don't realize that there's a lot that goes on mentally with it. You know, when you have a video go viral, or just some of the people that you meet, it can be really tough. Back in 2020 when I first got started, my TikTok blew up, and it was amazing. There was so much greatness that came out of it, but mentally I was just not prepared for that.
Mhm.
I thought it was going to be this amazing thing where people are going to be super supportive of me, and I'd be getting a ton of love in the comment section, and there was that, don't get me wrong, but when you have videos that reach like 6.5 million or like 2 million or even a few 100,000, like, you get a lot of nasty people in there. And as
Yeah.
much as you want to say, like, oh, I don't care about their opinion, like, subconsciously, the things that people say online, they do get to you. And if you haven't
Mhm.
done that inner work with yourself, like, it's really going to affect you in the way that you show up. People were making fun of my appearance. They were making a mockery of what I was doing. They were questioning my integrity. And it was a lot. It was a lot to
Yeah.
process. And over time, like, I would take these like hiatuses on social media, which like was bad for me for my content growth. And I'd be in another mindset where it's like, oh my God, I'm not posting consistently. I need to be getting back on there. But I
Yeah.
wasn't mentally there yet to get back on the internet. And it's this like cycle that you get stuck in, and you don't realize it until you're there. And it's very draining.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, even if you aren't experiencing content going viral, there's still the cycle that you're talking about of maybe getting burnt out on creating content or getting burnt out on your business or getting burnt out on these things that you know are important. And that's really when doing that inner work, like you said, comes in handy for sure. Okay, so my next question for you is like, how important is mindset? And obviously, you talked about it a little bit, but like, do you think that people can be successful without putting effort into this, or do you think that like they go hand in hand? Do you think that people can do it subconsciously, or it needs to be a conscious thing?
I think they definitely go hand in hand. I think business and mindset go hand in hand. And it's not this like glorified thing. It's not like, the money that you're making and stuff like that. It's not something people want to focus on right when they get started. And that's where a big downfall comes in. And I see this a lot with my coaching clients where we get on calls and they're like, Olivia, I don't really want to be posting. I'm afraid to put my face out there. I'm afraid somebody at work's going to find me. And
Yeah.
it's because they haven't done this inner work with themselves yet and figured out like who they actually are as a person and who they want to show up as. And like building up that confidence takes time for sure. Like it took me like 600 and something videos on TikTok before I was okay with the sound of my voice. Like it took me a long time
Yeah.
as well. But the biggest thing is just don't let other people's opinions start defining who you are, because
Hmm.
you can be growing this amazing business on the back end. You can have the best products in the world, the best services in the world. You could be an amazing expert at what you do. But if you haven't done the mindset work and, really focused on who you are, what makes you special, what makes you unique, and embrace that, then everything's going to start to crumble. And when I started my business originally, I had everything kind of going for me, but I wasn't focusing on the mindset work at all. And I just thought it was like too woo woo. I was like, oh, I don't really care. Like, I'll eventually get there. I'm making all this money. It's great. And then once I had these like little cracks in the foundation happen, everything came crumbling back down. I had to start from square zero again. So they
Yeah.
definitely go hand in hand.
Yeah, I feel like that's why it's so important to have support while you're building your business. Like in a coach like you, when I first started, I had a coach also. Olivia and I are both a part of the Social Click with Rachel Peterson, where we have an abundance of people to reach out to whenever you're feeling really down. But it makes such a difference because I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday and like I was feeling really down. And she told me that, and she said she heard Alec Hormozy say this, but like you have like 30% of your days that are bad and 30% of your days that are good and 30% of your days that are like, in between. And then of those, 30% of those are really bad and 30% of those are really good. And so no matter what, like you're never able to always feel great all the time. Like there's always going to be the highs and the lows. And my very first business coach was really big on like teaching me how important it is to try to stay as level as possible, like not feel so high with the highs and not feel so low with the lows. And it's like, it's really challenging. And that's definitely a part of it. I think that entrepreneurship and businesses build you because we get emotionally involved, right? Because it's even though we shouldn't, like it's still something that we're building. And so it starts to feel really personal.
Yeah, I
So,
I put something out on my Twitter the other day. It was like, you learn more about yourself in 6 months of running a business than you do like in just 20 years of your life normally. Like you learn so much about yourself, like trying to build something from scratch like this and like dealing with everything else that's revolving around it and like stepping out of like normal reality than you do like any other time in your life. So that's so true.
yeah. Yeah, because it feels like it's you. Everything feels like very personal. And so it's a conversation I've had with my husband a lot, who also is an entrepreneur. Like when somebody doesn't want your services, it feels like rejection to you personally, even though like it's not. It's like, or if somebody, questions what you've created, it feels like a blow to you personally. And again, like it's not, it's personal preference. And you have to figure out how to disconnect your worth and who you are as a person from
So,
your content or from your services or from your business. And that is definitely it's a challenge that we work on every day, right? So that kind
yeah.
of leads me into my next question of like how like I mean, my question was, how does it affect you as an entrepreneur, which we talked about a lot, but like, if you want to go a little bit further into that and maybe how we can get more even rather than like ride the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things. I think the biggest for at least me personally has been just stepping outside of the business. Like you said, everything seems so like intertwined. It's like vines after a while, where like one
Hmm.
thing leads into your personal life, and then your personal life leads into your business, and it just feels like everything is so connected. Which is great because when you're building a personal brand, you want the two to be connected. But the challenging part is stepping away from the business and realizing that your business success is not a reflection of your personal success. And
Hmm.
something that has helped me a lot is, I know it sounds really woo woo, but like connecting with nature more. So just like going for walks or, just like going to the park or something like that. Just taking my phone, leaving it in my house for like an hour and not having to deal with like Instagram notifications or emails and stuff like that. Like just taking
Yeah.
an hour a day, going to the gym, like just doing something to like connect more with the reality of the world than
Mhm.
just being on the internet and being like in the nitty gritty stuff. That's really helped. Yeah, exercise has been a big thing. Like I was a like D3 college athlete, and the hardest thing for me when I was trying to balance school and my business was constantly having all of these thoughts in my brain. I'd be thinking about
Yeah.
thermodynamics homework, and then I'd be thinking about, oh no, I need to make this like Instagram story post, and it was so much to handle. But the one time throughout the day that like everything just seemed to be blocked out was when I had swim practice for 2 hours a day, and
Yeah.
it was like that reset button for me where I got out all of like the anxiety and the adrenaline I had from running my business and doing homework, and I could connect with people and just talk about stuff that wasn't related to business. So those would be my two big tips. Definitely go for a walk, connect with nature, get some sunlight, and just move your body. Move your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And if you're enjoying this conversation, please double tap the screen. That helps us get our content in front of more people. And if you are on a journey in entrepreneurship or struggling with your mindset, feel free to leave us a comment. We would love to talk about whatever it is that you are working on and how Olivia can support you in kind of moving through that. I love what you talked about with getting outside. I'm at a co-working space now. That's why there's people walking all around me, but there's like this little park outside and I love to eat my lunch out there because I'm just like, get me away from here. But I think that the moving your body thing is so important. And like for me in my personal journey in entrepreneurship, it started with my fitness journey and they're still like very related to me. Like even so much so as yesterday, we were doing a workout where it had a long run. I do CrossFit, so long run is like anything
Me
over
too.
400 meters. But so we were doing a 800-meter run, and like in anytime I'm doing something that I'm like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I always just tell myself like, in order for me to be successful in business, I have to keep going even when it sucks. And so I'm gonna keep going right now, and like that will get me to the other side. But I do think that, and I attribute my fitness journey to my business journey because it was like one of the first times that I committed to something and followed through with it. And I was like, oh, like I could do anything I set my mind to. Like, what else can I do? So I think that finding some way of moving that you love, and that's like the key, right? Like you can't like find something and then hate it because you'll never go. And so you have to find something that you
Exactly.
love. And
Yeah, you gotta build up those habits, and so like I think that's another thing is like having like these small little habits that you can do every single day that aren't related to business like helps so much. For me, I love learning new languages, so like I've been trying to do German on Duolingo for like 4 years now, and
yeah,
setting aside 30 minutes a day where I'm just doing that and not focusing on anything else has helped a lot too. So building up
yeah,
small little habits in other areas of your life for like personal development so that it doesn't
yeah.
feel tied with your business development.
That's so true. I've been doing Duolingo for 2 years now in Spanish, and I also took like 2 years of Spanish in college and 4 years in high school, and I really should be fluent. I'm not,
That's where I'm
but
at right now.
it's fun. So whatever. Okay, so I kind of want to move into um how important mindset is to content creation because this is a really big focus that I've had recently in my own content creation and being super mindful of like where I'm at mentally before creating content. So let's move into that a little bit and like how can your mindset like affect your content creation?
Yeah, this is a really good one. So I always tell people to step back from their content before they post it. So whether that's wait like a day or two, because you could have this amazing idea and you might think in the moment that it'll perform really well and connect with people, but it might be something that ends up triggering you later on and you don't realize it. Like there's it's kind of like a two-sided coin with being vulnerable on social media. Like it could go one of two ways. And
Hmm.
sometimes you just need to have that little grace period before you put that really vulnerable piece of content out there because it could just backfire on you.
Yeah.
So that's one of my biggest recommendations. Been there, done that. I can confidently say
Yeah.
that putting something out there too early will attract the wrong crowd based on how you show up in that content, which I know sounds very, very broad without being specific, like having specific examples in front of you. But yeah, I'd just say take a step back first. Like, give it a day or two. If you're like, I'm not really 100% certain about this, let me just put it in my drafts for a minute.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that in some ways it can be therapeutic because it's like journaling, like you're getting the thoughts out of your head. But anytime I've done anything like that, I always draft it and then I've never posted it because I'm like, is this a good idea? And then I'm like, no, that would not have been a good idea. And so I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. I think that that's smart. But I think also getting it out there is important too, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's how we move through things.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's a lot of people's biggest fear is getting on the internet and putting their face out there and sharing their opinion. So I guess like my biggest tip for people when they're first starting out with content and they're afraid to put their face out there, they're afraid to share their voice, is start putting your stuff in drafts first. See how you
Hmm.
come across. Like how do you actually speak to the camera? Is it more like harsh and you don't want to be known as a harsh person for the way that you speak? Is it more soft? Like figure out how you actually present yourself to the camera before you post the content and just look back on all those drafts first. And if you're like, oh, this is the way I actually want to be showing up on social media, like I'll confidently put that piece of content out there. That's been something that's super helpful for me because sometimes I film stuff and I'm very aggressive in the way I say it. And I'm like, that's not how I want to be showing up online. It's the messaging is there, but like that's not how I want to be showing up. So I'll go back and refilm it a few days later.
Yeah. I think that one thing that was really powerful to me was recently whenever Rachel talked about the energy that we're putting behind how we're showing up. And so that's been something I've really been working on. And I think it helps with what you're talking about because I too have a tendency to come across as like people have told me in my in my life that I can come across as condescending, which is never my intention. I just am like matter of fact whenever I talk and possibly could be a bit neurodivergent, and so it just comes across in that way. But I think like being really like intentional about the energy that you're putting into the videos that you're making, like taking time to sometimes I'll take time to like visualize like who I'm talking to, like this is the group of people. What I'm going to share right now is going to be something that could change their life and it could help them be more successful in whatever it is that they're doing. And so that I think can help a little bit with like figuring out that delivery so that you're you know, the energy behind what you're doing is coming through on the camera.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely like look at I think that's something that I struggled with when I first started was like not knowing who I wanted to be online. I was just kind of putting everything out there for the sake of putting everything out there, which
Yeah.
was awesome because it was like a vlog of mine. You know, I had some awesome videos out there, but like as you have videos take off and like as you start to get people in your comment section who aren't too nice, like that's when the whole like negative mindset thing starts to take over. So definitely figure out who you actually want to show up as on the internet because once a video is out there, like not to scare you, but like it's out there, people can download the video, they can take
Yeah.
it in the wrong way, and that's where like a lot of that's when stuff really starts to hit the fan is when people
Yeah.
take things out of context the wrong way.
Totally. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, when you have a video that goes viral, like what are some ways that you can prepare for that, or what are some myths or tips for that sort of content?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest myths is that anytime you go viral, like you're gonna get a ton of like I mean, there's a ton of myths, but I think one of them for a lot of people is the double sided coin of like I'm gonna get a lot of haters, but I'm also gonna get a lot of reach, which is
I'm
true.
going to
If
get a
you're
lot of sales. Like, we need to go viral to get sales.
yeah, yeah, like that's not always true. Like sometimes the videos that go viral are gonna be the most random ones, and they're gonna have
Yeah.
nothing to do with your business, nothing at all, and then that's what your account
Mhm.
becomes known for, and it's great because you have visibility, but I always tell people that going viral is just a short term win. Like
Yeah.
you might get a few sales for the next like 2 or 3 months, if you're in the business space and you're trying to like make money through social media, um, but it's not a long term solution. Like
Hmm.
the content that's actually gonna bring in the money is the content that's relatable and like it builds that connection with people. Like a great example is I had a TikTok video that only hit about 1,500 people, which is really, really low for my account. Um, and a client filled out my application form, and we hopped on like a discovery call and all of that. And I was like, so how did you find me? Like, did you find me on Instagram? Like, where'd you find me? And they sent me the link to the video, and I'm like, you found me through this video? Really? And you wanted to work with me? And she's like, well, I found the video, and then I thought it was super interesting, so I looked at all of your other content, started
Yeah.
listening to that, and then I filled out the application form. So
Yeah.
like that's how they ended up working with me. It wasn't through like a viral video, it was through something that actually meant something to them.
Hmm.
So my biggest tip for people is don't focus on going viral, but focus on like just building out genuine content. Those viral videos are gonna, I don't know, I've never honestly had good luck with a viral video. It's always been content that's never reflected who I want to be known for on the internet,
Yeah.
or it's just something stupid that I decided to share, like a video of, if you scroll down on my page, there's like a video of my boyfriend and I made like some onion soup to like sniff because we were having a cold. It was just like the steam from it. I put it out there and it got like 150,000 views. Nothing related to my my TikTok account.
Yeah.
So it had nothing to do with my account and it didn't bring in the followers I was looking for. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think like the slow burn is good, right? Like, I'm sure that you experienced this, but there's videos that I've made like almost 2 years ago that continue to get engagement on them. And it's like the every day, like I made them so long ago that I wasn't really good at preparing my content to go further down my funnel. So like the video could probably bring me a lot of potential leads, but it's not set up that way. And so that's
yeah,
probably also like
exactly.
another PSA, like make sure that your content is directing people to the next step in your like marketing funnel, right? And so because these are actually really great videos. They're like one of them that continues to get engagement is like 5 videos I would make if I was a restaurant owner. And like that video could really set me up, right? I mean, the fact that it continues to get engagement, like if I would have put a proper call to action on there, I probably could get leads from it, but it just wasn't set up that way. So I think that number and also that wasn't a viral video, but now 2 years later, I get engagement on it at least weekly, if not like every other day. And so sometimes that slow burn is really powerful, and it don't delete content because it didn't perform right away. Don't focus so much on trying to hit that virality because it's not always going to get you what you want. And continue to put out content that is going to be relatable and attract your ideal client, which I feel like is kind of a nutshell of everything that you've been talking about.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I feel like I had one more question, but it's not written here. But anyways, so what are some tips on improving your mindset as a business owner, as a content creator? And if you do get that viral video and people start hating on you, like what do you recommend from that? Should I delete it?
Well, it depends on what the video was, but I would say for the most part, no, don't delete the video. Um, like I said, depends on what the content of the
Unless
video
you have a
is.
change of heart, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, we knew someone mutually who had a viral video like taken completely out of context, and it was like people were getting really upset with her. In that case, I feel like you can definitely delete it. But if it's just like controversial, but not controversial in a way that could be hurtful to you or your business.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the point earlier of like figure out who you actually want to be showing up as on social media before you post the
Yeah.
video. But I'd say for the most part, no, don't delete the video because I don't know the best way to explain this, but I'd say no. I'd say no, just because like it holds you in your power if you keep the video up there instead of letting the internet get the best of you. It shows that you're sticking true to what you wanted to put out there because it's your page. It's your page. Unless it
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
something like, racist or something that should not be out on the internet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
keep the video up there. Like if you put it out there for a reason, if you really thought through it before you posted it, like keep it up there. It's your
Mhm.
content. But I don't know. I think the three biggest lessons I would tell people are don't let other people's opinions define who you are. Like, you are you. That's what makes you special. You're an amazing, magical, funny, and smart human being. Like, you have a voice. Share it with the world. Just because some random username like 56392 says something that's nasty about you online, that doesn't make it true. Like, other people
Yeah.
might like the comment, but that leads me into my next point, which is like, it's probably because they're just jealous of you. They're jealous of like whatever you put out there, either like the success that you have that you're showing in your video or
Hmm.
your journey or the lifestyle that you live. Like it's probably because they're jealous of you. And most of the time when people leave these sort of hate comments, they wish that they had the life that you built for yourself, or they wish that they
Hmm.
had the results that you've built for yourself. And human beings who have not done the inner work are inherently jealous of other people, and they don't want other people around them to succeed. So yeah, if people around you are trying to tear you down, it's because they don't want themselves to look bad.
Yeah.
Um, and then I guess the last big thing is like, you're gonna get haters on your videos. Anything that gets like over, let's say, even 3,000 views, you're gonna get at least one person who's just gonna like be nasty in the comments. But you need to also flip the mindset and be like, yes, I had this one hater, but I also had way more people who actually are now part of my world, who enjoy my content. And this was a major perspective shift for me because when I had that video that hit like 6.5 million views, I got a lot of people who were, making fun of me and like, all the hater comments. But I also had way more people come into my world and who found what I posted super valuable.
Yeah.
Like the ratio of it wasn't even comparable. It was like 90% people enjoyed what I had to say and 10% of the people like hated me. But for every one person who's going to give you hate, there's always going to be 100 other people who enjoy what you have to say. So
Yeah.
don't let that one person define who you are on the internet. Don't let that one person get the best of you.
Yeah, definitely. I just saw a Gary Vee video where he was talking about like if someone comes and goes out of their way to like say something mean to you, like it's not about you. Like that is something with them, which is so true. And it's like easier said than done. I totally get that because we're
Yeah,
human, but
yeah.
it's
It's gonna take time,
not
but
not about you. And think about that before. Hopefully, anybody watching isn't the person leaving those hate comments, but be nice. There's a human on the other side of that. A human
yeah,
on the other side.
yeah. You're not making fun of. Like, is it something you'd say to their face? Like, honestly, is it something you'd say to their face? Then, like, don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say
Yeah.
it. But
All right. Well, our time here is almost up, but my last question that I like to ask, and we could do it around mindset, is what is the best piece of content that you've been consuming recently, whether it's like a podcast, a book, a TV show, and if it is helpful for mindset, even better, but if not, that's okay too.
oh god, I'm a big fan of listening to audiobooks. Hold on, what is the book? It's like Confidence Creator by Heather Monahan or something.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact name of it. I think it's like Confidence Creator by Heather Monahan. I know it's by her.
Yeah.
But if you look it up on Audible, highly, highly recommend listening to that. It was a big mindset shift for me in the way that like I showed up in my business. So
Yeah.
yeah, give that book a listen if you have Audible.
Very cool. I know. Anytime I do audiobooks, I like never know the name of the book or anything because you're just like, it's
I know
like
I
so
cycle
different
through
than holding
them.
it.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact name, but there's the word confidence in there, and then it's by Heather Monahan. So
I love that. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. I do this show every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, which was 30 minutes ago, whatever time that is for you. And I also repost these all on YouTube. So you can find them on my YouTube channel, which is Key Heart Marketing, the same as my handle here. Be sure and join us next week. And thank you, Olivia, so much for your
thank
time.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.